First touch applies to heading as well. Learning to head the ball to maintain possession is important and one of the hardest technical challenges for young players. This activity, using 4 players and 2 balls, teaches players to maintain possession by finding the open player and using a good touch to head the ball to the target. To direct your header properly, turn your body, look at the target, arch your back, and thrust forward in one motion, making contact with the forehead towards your target. Another example is 3 players and 1 ball. For more training tips, log on to ususoccer.org. A volley is a skill too often thought of only to clear a ball or shoot on goal. But a one-touch volley to maintain possession is a skill great players need to master. Here we use 4 players and 2 balls. The challenge is to find the open player and with a good first touch, volley with the inside of the foot to the open target. Players need to develop both feet and eventually volley with the instep and the outside of the foot. Open up your body so that you can turn and redirect the ball to the target in one motion.
You might have your players go through this. You let them pick their comfortable foot, and then you kind of have the servers toss to the opposite foot.
For more training tips, log on to ususoccer.org. A great way for 2 players to combine to beat a defender is a takeover. The player with the ball will dribble towards their teammate. The player with the ball will then provide a visual cue as to whether they will leave the ball or continue to dribble. That visual cue is simply lifting their foot over the ball, signaling to their teammate to take the ball over. Once the second player takes the ball over, they should accelerate into the open space past the defender. Remember, on the dribble, always keep your body between the ball and the defender.
Do it at speed. As soon as you take over, that's it, and you go.
For more training tips, log on to ususoccer.org. Today we are working on improving the quality of our first touch. This exercise uses a 10 by 10 grid and either 2 or 4 players. The objective is to use our first touch to receive the ball and take it away from pressure. First we'll receive with the outside of the foot and pass it back to our partner with the same foot. Next we will receive with the inside of the foot and pass it back with the opposite foot. Players can work on this at home, in the backyard, as well as at training. For more training tips, log on to ususoccer.org. Players need to use dribbling to create shooting chances for themselves. Here we use change of direction, change of pace to show players they don't always have a straight path to the goal. Using sharp turns and acceleration, the players maneuver through the gates with control to prepare for a shot on goal. When dribbling with speed, the ball can be a bit farther from the player. But when changing direction to beat a defender, close control is required. For more training tips, log on to ususoccer.org.
Today we're going to talk about shielding. Okay, go ahead. Off you go. Couple spaces out. Good. That's good. And shield. Good. Now, what the players are trying to do, they're trying to shield the ball and spin back and come back to me. Good. And keep going. If you make it all back to me, then go back out and do it again. Now, it's very important as the players are trying to shield the ball, they need to keep their body between the defender and the ball. Good. Excellent turn. Well done. Sometimes a player will put their arm up to create a barrier so they can feel the other player, and that way if they can't look at the ball and the player at the same time, they can use their body feeling to turn and spin away from them. Good. And come on in, girls. This is chipping technique.
Plant foot beside the ball about 6 inches to the side with the toes pointed toward the target. Knee of the standing leg should be flexed. The hips should face the target. Bend sharply at the knee. Heel of the kicking foot must rise sharply toward the buttocks. Head down and eyes on the ball.
This is crossing technique.
During the dribble down the field, sight the target space across the field to pass the ball to. From the dribble, the next to the last touch of the ball should be to push it slightly and diagonally toward the inside of the field. On the last stride, the plant foot should go beside the ball about 6 inches away from the ball with the toes pointed across the field toward the opposite touch line. The knee of the standing leg should be to some extent bent for balance. The heel of the kicking foot should rise sharply toward the buttocks. The entire kicking leg should go back from the hip. The head should now be a bit forward and the eyes on the ball. Arms out slightly from the sides for balance. On the downswing of the kicking foot, the toes of that foot should be pointed down and the ankle locked. Strike the center of the ball.
Today we're going to talk about the front wedge trap. Okay, in groups of two, knocking the ball, okay? Make sure we stay on our toes and gently wedge trap the ball underneath your foot. Good. Good. Stay on our toes. Good. It's very important when you're doing the wedge trap that you stay on your toes because the ball may skip or bounce somewhere and you've got to be able to move quickly to recover if it does. The other thing is to gently wedge the ball. You don't want to step on the ball. Good. Let's pick the balls up now. And we're going to throw them, and we'll wedge trap. Sometimes balls come in the air, and so it's a little bit different technique. Okay, good. And come on in. Hi, my name is Eddie Henderson from Nevada Youth Soccer. Today we're going to discuss the heel pass. Okay, kids, just get into a pattern formation, start moving around, killing the ball. Good. Now, it's important, as the players do the heel pass, that they bring the whole leg over the ball and not stop the ball and do it in 2 touches. It's a lot better for disguise and deception to just bring your leg over the ball and heel pass the ball. They want to swing all the way firmly through the ball and make sure they hit the ball straight so it trails back to their partner.
Coaches, we're going to be looking at the technique of the push pass.
Run up approach to the ball in a straight line. Plant foot is beside the ball about 6 inches away and the toes are pointed in the direction of the pass. Knee of the standing leg is bent. Hips facing the direction of the pass. Turn the kicking leg outwards from the hip. The toes of the kicking foot point out and the sole of that foot should be parallel to the ground. Lean a bit forward at the waist. Head down with the eyes on the ball. Arms out for balance. A medium backswing of the kicking leg. Lock the ankle of the kicking foot, toes of the kicking foot up slightly. The kicking foot is turned out and pushes through the middle of the ball. Contact the ball near the arch of the foot. The downswing of the kicking leg comes from the hip. Upon contact with the ball, the knee and ankle of the kicking leg should be locked. Push through the ball towards the target.
Good job. That's brilliant right there. Every time, just like that. Knock it down, find it. Great. Great. Get that goal. Yes. Good.
Coaches, we're going to address the instep drive pass now.
In the approach to the ball, the last full stride of what will become the standing leg must be a long one. Plant foot beside the ball about 6 inches away and with the toes pointing toward the target. Bend the knee slightly. The angle of approach can be straight on or diagonal. Toes of the kicking foot are pointed down. Ankle is locked, eyes on the ball.
Okay, coaches, we're going to address the crossover heel pass.
Plant foot as with the push pass. Knees a little bent for good balance. The kicking foot is passed in front of the ball and over the support leg. A short and sharp backswing of the lower leg from the knee joint. The rear of the shoe provides the striking surface. Again, the ball must be struck centrally if it is to go straight or to either side of line B if swerving is required. Step onto the kicking foot and bring the support leg around to continue in stride.
This is passing with the instep.
First, get the chosen kicking foot behind the line of the ball. Get the kicking foot level with the ball by letting the ball drop below knee height. Get the hip and knee above and over the ball as it comes through the air. An alternate method is to raise the knee so that the kicking thigh is parallel with the ground, thus getting the kicking foot level with line A. The kicking leg is lifted back and up so that it can swing down and through to give the required power for distance. Toes of the kicking foot pointed down, ankle locked, eyes on the ball. Watch the foot connect with the ball. Keep the head steady. Follow through with the kicking foot and towards the target. Look up only after the kicking foot is back on the ground.